Bring the horns in. We going all in.
Oh yes, yes. The civil rights movement was in motion, and in different political organizations and parties was, especially they was in the prisons, and that's where people's political views and political insights was developed. There's always something to do. People always talk to you about different political things, and kind of get an idea of how to analyze current events and different things that was taking place in the world at that time.
Was that new to you?
No, not really new, but it was just something. It got my attention. It made me get involved. And like I said, the thing what I went to prison for was a total accident, and I felt that was a way to me to make amends for the things for that particular thing that I did. And and you want to try to kind of make it up, to kind of balance out the scale in life for a while. So it made me read, and I found myself exchanging information with other people. And as I got there a few years, guys that was coming a little younger than me, so I'll pull them up and make them go to school, do the things that the older guys had made me do. There was a riot in Auburn. I don't exactly remember what had happened, but I know there were some brothers that they had locked up, and we felt that as unjustifiably. And as a result, we wanted them to see their presence in the yard to make sure that they was all right and they was safe. There wasn't any bodily harm done to them. Most police correction officers, they kind of get a little rebellious because their job is not for us to tell them what to do, for them to tell us what to do. So it wound up in a riot. It wasn't really a violent riot, but it's just that refusal to work. So we should have said, if we can't see them, nobody's going to work. And that's how it happened.
And what was their reaction to that?
Well, I guess they realized they had lost a little control of the inmates at that time, because when you're in a yard situation, the correctional officers, they're always outnumbered. So we shut the gates that we go through to go to our job assignments. And then after that, when that settled down, they just start shipping people out. And that's how I wound up in Attica.
So it was more of like a preemptive move.
Yeah, it was a lot of people involved, because before the Attica riot, that was considered one of the largest riots in the state of New York. But it just wasn't as violent as it was in Attica, because that there wasn't any state troopers that got involved in it. There wasn't any murders or death, anything.
And there weren't any hostages
No.
in the Auburn situation either.
No, because Auburn was almost considered like a prison institution, because they had like any program, they always went to a place like Auburn Auburn. I forgot the name of the other place. I think it was Wallkill. Wallkill was primarily honored. They didn't have any walls, but everything they tried to implement, it happened there at Auburn. And it was kind of like a little pet thing, because Auburn used to make license plates for cars. So that was always that's a little pet project, and it brought revenue into the institution.
Tell me about that.
Okay, actually, that's when they started locking inmates as a result of the Black Solidarity Day. That's what prompted them to lock inmates up, and we kind of rebelled against that.
So tell me about Black Solidarity Day and how that was.
Well, you still had different organizations. You had Young Laws, Panther Party, Weathermen, Nation of Islam, 5%ers, and we all always, and that people would get together and do functions in the yard. That I think was a little intimidating for the officers. And that's what I guess he started locking people up to try to find out what was going on. And because at the time we requested to see the inmates that they had locked up for that, they didn't do that, and that's when we decided to take some matters into our own hands.
Bring the horns in. We going all in.